Hello and welcome to the Black Dog Writes. Today is blog day, so I'm going to be telling you a little bit about how I got where I am and how it's going. I was for many years an academic, and that is how many of you know me. If you're wondering what I'm doing here in Scotland when I used to teach ancient history in the United States, it's because of a family emergency that happened at the end of 2019. Now what I do is I work part-time. I work 3 days a week, and the rest of the time I'm trying to write a book that is contracted to the publishers Pen and Sword, which is a military press, and due at the end of July 22. So when I'm not working, I write. And I'm going to leave out some of these bits and pieces. There are parts that I don't really want to talk about on the internet, so my kids are desperate to be on camera, but they're not old enough to consent to having their lives splashed across the internet because they don't know they don't really understand what it means. As we all know, the internet is forever. The dog and the cat I'm very happy to put on the internet. I made them mascots of a sort for, well, I made Prissy-Mae the spirit of initiative because of how much she just loves to go out. At some point I will take footage of her when she's desperate to go out because it's hilarious and cute, and I do find it quite inspiring. She just wants to go and run on the beach, but she's so thrilled about it. And then the white one, who I made the spirit of persistence because of constantly wanting to be on me, no matter where I am or how much I'm trying not to pay attention to her, including following me around the house and mewing at me to go back and sit down so that she can sit on me. Sometimes I will talk a bit about Scotland and being here and what that looks like. So also, I wanted to say a bit about the book. So it is 23.1% drafted. So I estimated it would be about 100,000 words. Of that, there are 8,000 words, which I submitted as a sample. So that's chapter 1, which is pretty much done. Some of it will eventually be tidied up and updated from ideas that I had in my dissertation from 2009. Some of that is helpful because the ideas are there, some of the evidence is there, the citations are there, and all I need to do is to go in and update that, see what has been happening in the last 12 years or so, and add the updated scholarship and more of what I think now into those chapters, those parts. So that's where I am. I really want to accelerate this because 23% drafted doesn't seem a lot to me. Because I'm me, I keep charts and tables and such bits and bobs that help me to visualize how far through the book I am, which is why I know I'm 23.1% through drafting up the manuscript. And I also want to talk about a bit of the videos and let you know how that's going, because this is a new thing I want to do. I didn't really want to spend a lot of my time being sad on the internet, but here it is. And I do want to talk about the major parts of completing something when you're depressed, because otherwise I feel like I've spent a lot of time learning things which are only useful to me, and I don't want that to be the case. I want to put that out a bit, and so that maybe other people won't have to learn by trial and error how things work for them. Hopefully there's something in there that will help people. So this, as you know, is Prissy-Mae. I wanted to explain a little bit about Prissy-Mae's story for you. She is a purebred Romanian street dog. She came from a street in Romania and she was rescued by an organisation there, and then she was taken across to the UK by a different organisation that it actually took several months. She was 3.5 years old when she came to us. She's now 4, almost 5, so she's been with us for about 14 months. She's not much of a people dog, I have to say. So you could come into the house and you could spend several hours in here and you wouldn't know that there was a dog in the house at all. So she's not much of a people dog. She prefers just to lie around upstairs and to spend some time on her own, but she is a very, very sweet dog. She's a very calm dog. She doesn't bark very much. She doesn't make very much noise at all. And her greatest love in the world is running on the beach, which she would do for absolutely hours. That's the thing that makes her happiest. She is currently wondering why I'm sitting here holding a camera and talking to her. Or not really talking to her. I think she knows I'm not talking to her. Prissy, Prissy. She's named Prissy after my husband's grandmother's dog, and the name that she was originally given in the shelter, which was May, M-A-Y, and in honour of the family's southern roots we named her Prissy-Mae with a hyphen, because we were just thinking about home, I think, at that point, or thinking about the US that we had just left, so my husband's home. Oh, and look, she's sat up because my husband's coming up the stairs. Prissy, Prissy. And this is what she does every single time that you come near her. Her little leg goes up in the air, which is adorable, but also a little bit sad because it's a very submissive gesture. And this is how she lived in Romania for a long time. She lived in a rescue full of other dogs, and she basically was a sweet, timid girl, and that's how she got by without getting into fights. Isn't it, Prissy, Prissy? It's why you're so sweet. It's why you're so sweet. And she likes to lick your hand. If you give her your hand, she will... well, okay. Not right now. She will give you a nice licking. She will lick you right in the face, as she loves to do to the children. But that is her story. She is a very sweet girl. Okay, you guys, so this is the white one. She is a much longer resident of our household than Prissy-Mae is. So she was born sometime in 2013. Which is the same year that I met my husband, and she was originally his cat, and he had 2 cats when I met him, the white one and the fat one, who died at some point when I was at the SCS meeting in, oh goodness, must have been 2019, I think. The white one was not much more than a kitten when I met her. She is a very, very sweet cat. She won a lot of points with me by being lovely to my children when they were at ages when they would poke her in the face and they would really mess with her and try to pull her tail, and she was always extremely sweet to them. So earned her place in my heart by doing that. And she came with us from the States. Now, if you don't know, it is quite difficult to get an animal into the United Kingdom. You can fly them in, but if you fly them in, you have to organise that through a cargo company. And in order to organise through a cargo company, you need another third-party company to make that booking for you. And they will only fly them into certain airports, which was not the airports that we really wanted her to go from and to. So when my husband went back to the States in January of 2020, to pack up the rest of our apartment and to take the cat home, what we did was we flew her into Europe. We flew her, well, I flew both of them into Amsterdam, and then from Amsterdam they took a ferry to Newcastle, and from Newcastle they took a train north to Scotland. So this cat has been transatlantic on an aeroplane, she has been on several buses, and she has been overnight on a ferry, and she has been on a train. And she was sweet and good through all of that travelling, and within about half an hour of being home here, she was quite content. She was just happy to be with her family again. So she's a well-travelled kitty, but now she lives here with us again. Don't you, darling? Yes. So she is about 8 years old now, I think. Yes, she's 8. She didn't like Prissy-Mae at first. She used to hiss at Prissy-Mae. But now they get on quite well. They sit on the bed together most of the day.